New at noon, the Amarillo Fire Department is investigating a house fire that sparked this morning at a mobile home park in North Amarillo. We have some details as to what happened earlier today. News Channel 10's Angelica Brown is live at the scene with the latest. Angelica?
Michelle, you can still smell the smoke in the air. Firefighters just left the scene as they were still cleaning up what had happened here. Neighbors are coming out asking questions and taking pictures of what happened. Now, details of this fire are limited, but here's what we know so far. At about 9 a.m. this morning, a fire started at the trailer homes. It was space 75. According to the Amarillo Fire Department, 10 units were called to the scene. The fire was put out at about 9:40 this morning, and there are no known injuries. Now, we were able to briefly talk to one of the tenants that lives in the trailer home. He was completely shocked over what happened and extremely upset. He lives here with his wife, stepdaughter, and baby. Now, we were trying to get a cause of fire from the Amarillo Fire Department, but we weren't able to get that information, but as soon as it becomes available, we'll try and get that to you. Reporting live in North Amarillo, Angelica Brown, News Channel 10.
And another fire this morning in Potter County kept emergency responders busy. A semi-truck carrying a load of hay from Colorado to a rancher's supply store in Amarillo caught fire just after 9 this morning. The truck was about 5 miles north of the Canadian River Bridge when the driver noticed the flames coming from the load of hay. The driver was able to unhook the truck and pull away from the trailer safely. Highway 287 was shut down for a short time while crews worked to extinguish the blaze. No word yet on what may have caused the trailer to catch fire. A cold front will bring cooler temperatures and may bring a chance of rain for parts of the area. Storm Track 10 meteorologist Alan Gwynn joins us now in the Storm Track Center with the details. Hi, Alan.
Hey there, Michelle. Yeah, we're already tracking the front moving into the area, but rain chances, well, they'll probably hold off for at least Amarillo until well after dark. Let's kind of show you what's happening out there. We've been tracking a few high clouds here and there, and well, that cold front, like I said, it's already right about the Amarillo area. Now, this is the initial wind shift, but we will see stronger winds coming in with this during the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Right now, we've been seeing mostly sunny skies and some very pleasant conditions around the central panhandle, but rain in the forecast again after midnight tonight, and then other rain chances to talk about at the same time. We'll do that in a few minutes. Now back to news.
We'll see you then, Alan. Thank you. The Hereford EDC is trying to help one area pet food processor that's experiencing some growing pains. The Hereford EDC is working with Tejas Industries to finance the building of a new facility in Hereford. Tejas needs more space to operate their pet food business, so the EDC is issuing the company a contract revenue bond to finance the building of a new and permanent facility.
They have just grown by leaps and bounds over the last 2 or 3 years. About 18 months ago, they had around 200 employees. They have over 300 now, and in the next 18 months, they'll be 400 plus. They're spread out over 4 different facilities in town right now, and they're just at a total lack of pallet space.
Their goal is to build a 240,000 square foot warehouse across the street from their current facility, allowing the company to create about 70 more jobs. The EDC says banks still have to check Tejas's credit before the bond contract can be finalized, but if all goes as planned, they will break ground on the new warehouse this summer. An Amarillo hospital is partnering with the hospital in Guyman to help them get back on their feet. Memorial Hospital of Texas County is joining forces with Northwest Texas Hospital in Amarillo in order to become more financially stable. They hope this will allow them to provide most health care to their citizens in Guyman instead of forcing them to travel elsewhere.
A lot of the people from this area use Northwest Texas now, and it will help a lot of our people from not traveling as much. So I can see nothing but benefits to come from it. I have no doubt in my mind, with Northwest Texas help, we will become a good, productive hospital again.
And a team will be sent from Northwest Texas Hospital Thursday to help with a 45 to 60-day transition. A semi-truck crashes into a local McDonald's last night, putting several people in the hospital. News Channel 10's Angelica Brown is live at Amarillo Boulevard in Pierce with the latest details on what happened. Angelica?
Michelle, workers have been coming to the scene all morning to clean up damages. Just recently, they put up a fence all around the McDonald's. Now, since this started last night, the number of people injured changed from 4 to 5. But we have confirmed with Amarillo Police of 7 people that have been injured and sent to the hospital. The good news is all of those injuries are considered minor. Now, the crash happened last night just before 10 p.m. Police say a semi going south on Pierce hit a Honda going eastbound on Amarillo Boulevard. The semi then crashed into the parking lot and pushed a Ford Explorer into the building. At about 3 a.m. this morning, the semi was pulled out of the building, and soon after, the Ford Explorer was. Now, the 5 people in the Honda, the semi-truck driver, and the Ford Explorer driver were the ones that were sent to the hospital. But again, those injuries are considered minor. Reporting live in North Amarillo, Angelica Brown, News Channel 10.
Day 1 of the evidentiary hearing in the Gray County Courthouse for Hank Skinner has come to an end. News Channel 10's Colleen Nelson sat in on the court hearing today and joins us now live in the News Center with an update on this hearing.
Walt, after some 8 hours of discussion and testimony from 2 witnesses, the state and Hank Skinner's defense team are gearing up to meet again tomorrow morning. In today's hearing, the defense focused on evidence collected from the crime scene in 1993, saying some of it was not tested properly while other DNA had deteriorated after not being stored correctly. Skinner's defense team claims after sending DNA off to a private lab, results point to someone other than Skinner as the murderer. But the state says DNA testing done by the Department of Public Safety further confirms Skinner's guilt. They ended today's hearing with testimony from a Department of Public Safety trace analyst who said some of the evidence collected at the crime scene was insufficient, therefore it was not tested for DNA. Court documents state the focus of the hearing is whether it is reasonably probable that Skinner would have been acquitted if all DNA evidence was presented in the 1995 trial. We'll be back at the Gray County Courthouse tomorrow to hear testimony from the state's second witness, who is said to be a DNA expert with DPS. Reporting live in the News Center, Colleen Nelson, News Channel 10.
Thanks very much, Colleen. State witnesses began testimony today in the trial of a man accused of a murder 3 years ago in Amarillo. Laney Brewer, also known as Laney Paul Chambers, trial started this morning in Potter County. 51-year-old Rick Glenn Province was found dead in his apartment in the 1500 block of Jefferson in July of 2011. And Leslie Wiseman, also accused and charged in Province's murder. Her trial is scheduled to start next month.
Now that income tax season is here, it may be in your best interest to file early and electronically for more reasons than one. News Channel 10's Leslie Aguilar joins us now live in the studio to explain what recent data breaches of large companies has to do with it. Leslie.
Walt, right now the IRS has more employees and more technology working to prevent identity theft and tax fraud. But while there are increased safeguards, there are also increased risks.
If you want your return sooner than later, it's common sense to file early.
I think filing electronically is the way to go, and to file it as soon as you're able.
Amarillo CPA Sam Lovelady says that's always the case, but it's more important this year. Widespread data breaches, including those of Target and Neiman Marcus, have compromised financial information for millions of Americans.
Ultimately, it's going to create more problems on the tax fraud standpoint.
Fraudulent returns collected by crooks have been on the rise, with more than $3 billion stolen since 2011. The IRS is combating the growing risk of identity theft and tax fraud by adding 3,000 employees to that job. The agency reports halting more than $50 billion from going to criminals' wallets, but protecting yourself is just as important. By protecting your Social Security number.
Don't give it out unless there's a good reason for it.
Keeping in mind the IRS only sends correspondence through the mail.
IRS isn't going to call you and ask you your Social Security number. They already have it.
And checking your credit report annually.
Just be suspicious.
If you believe you could be a victim of tax fraud, you can alert the IRS by filling out a Form 14039, which can be found on their website. Reporting live in the studio, Leslie Aguilar, News Channel 10.
You're watching News at 9 on 10-2.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Colleen Nelson in for Stacy Sakai. In tonight's top story, a local family is considering relocating their family to Colorado in order to create a better life for their disabled daughter. News Channel 10-2's Leslie Aguilar joins us now live in the News Center to explain. Leslie?
Colleen, right now there is no cure for epilepsy or cerebral palsy, but there are several different options for treatment. And unfortunately, the option that works best for this 8-year-old Canyon girl is not covered by insurance. Jillian's parents weaned her off all pharmaceutical drugs and started her on alternative treatments of oxygen and various vitamins and minerals. On pharmaceuticals, Jillian's parents say she was having 40 to 50 seizures a day. Now she's down to 7 to 9 a week. The family started a GoFundMe account earlier this year to help keep paying for those uninsured treatments.
Our plan is just to keep that money and pay off a couple of her bills that we already have and use it to keep consistently be able to get the food she needs and the alternative treatments that we're doing. And in the new year, we're going to try some new things, and so having money in that account will be a huge help. Exactly.
The plan for after the new year is to explore a possible move to Colorado, where an oil made from marijuana is helping epileptic children find and lead more normal lives. More on that tonight on the News at 10. And we'll have the link where you can donate to Jillian's 5,000 by Christmas fundraiser on newschannel10.com. Live in the News Center, Leslie Aguilar, News Channel 10-2.
All right, thanks, Leslie. Amarillo police continue to investigate a shooting near the intersection of Western and Plains Boulevard tonight. Just before 5, police were called to the Amarillo Gold and Silver after receiving calls of gunshots in the area. When they arrived, the APD say they found a man inside with multiple gunshot wounds. The victim was transported to the hospital, but his name or condition have not yet been released. Police are currently searching for the suspect, who they believe is a white male with a mustache who fled the scene in a large gray or silver SUV. APD is asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 374-4400. A 5-car wreck in Amarillo this afternoon sends one man to the hospital. The accident happened around 4:45 near Western and I-27. The wreck involved a Subaru, PT Cruiser, Altima, Mustang, and Ford truck blocking traffic on Western. Firefighters say they had a hard time getting the man out of the Mustang. He was sent to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Traffic on Western has since returned to normal. Well, due to the numerous wrecks this weekend, the local blood supply has seen a decline. But it's not just the accidents causing the decrease in blood supply, it's also cancer patients and seriously ill people in the hospital. Cancer patients going through chemo need blood to help them feel better and stay energized so they can spend time with their families during the holidays.
Cancer patients, serious illnesses that are happening in the hospital are still using blood as well. So they don't take a holiday. So we have to keep the stock stabilized so that when a crisis hits, we're ready.
Currently, the blood center is in need of O-negative blood, as that is the universal donor and can be given to anyone. They are also in need of A-negative. If you would like to donate, the center is open tomorrow from 8 to noon. Women's housing shortage has the city considering developing apartments in the historical Dale Hotel. The city is thinking about renovating the 1945-story building to help meet the housing need. We spoke with the Guyman Chamber of Commerce about why developing more housing is essential for the community's growth.
We can't get businesses if we don't have any place to put people, and you can't put people if you get the businesses. So it's really important to us in order to expand and to grow and to make sure that we have a really great community for the future.
Right now, they are still in the beginning phases of the project, and there will be several financial hurdles to overcome before anything is set in stone. A local organization is preparing to help with the conflict in Sudan. Amarillo's Christian Relief Fund has a camp in Sudan located just south of where all the rebel fighting is happening. The organization says the camp is relatively empty now, but volunteers in Sudan are ready to shelter and feed displaced people seeking help.
And so if we need to use it to take care of people where they have a safe place to go, where we can easily feed them. And we have a school there too that has continued to run. And so we're set up there, and we'll also be set up in Kenya, where probably most of the refugees will go.
During past conflicts in Sudan, the Christian Relief Fund has seen the majority of refugees escape to northern Kenya, where their volunteers are predominantly located. Volunteers in Kenya will work with refugee camps in that area to bring extra food if there becomes a need.